Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei's names suddenly became the center of attention. Not just because of the project they were starring in, but because of something far more difficult to explain. Their chemistry was palpable. It was as if every scene they played carried the emotion of more than just a role, but an experience. When Zhang Linghe looked at Tian Xiwei, there was an intensity that was hard to ignore. It wasn't the blank stare of an actor following a director's lead. It was a gaze filled with meaning, as if he were truly looking at someone important to him, and the audience could feel it. Tian Xiwei was equally captivating. The way she responded to every movement, every word felt so natural. There was no sense of contrivance. Even in silent moments, her expressions spoke louder than any scripted dialogue. Many fans began to piece together small pieces of their interactions, from interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, to candid moments captured by chance. And the more they saw, the harder it became to dismiss it all as mere coincidence. One moment became a hot topic, a simple scene where they simply stared at each other without a word. But that was precisely where the magic lay. There was no dramatic dialogue, no overly loud background music, just two people seemingly completely immersed in their feelings. Some said this was the result of high-level professionalism, that great actors could create such a convincing illusion. But was that really all? Because if this was just acting, why did it feel so different from other on-screen couples? Why did their every interaction seem to have a deeper layer of emotion? Behind the scenes, their relationship also seemed warm. They laughed together, talked casually, even during downtime. There was none of the awkward distance that usually exists between two actors who only work together. Zhang Linghe seemed more relaxed around Tian Xiwei. Her smiles came more easily, her reactions more spontaneous. It was little things like this that convinced fans that there was something special between them. Tian Xiwei also seemed comfortable. There were no rigid boundaries, no overly formal attitudes. It was as if they weren't just colleagues, but two people genuinely enjoying each other's company. However, the entertainment world is always full of illusions. What appears to be real isn't always the truth. And this is where the mystery deepens. Could all this simply be the result of intense training, a deep understanding of the characters, and dedication to the roles? Or were these feelings born naturally unplanned? Fans are divided. Some believe this is pure acting. Others are convinced. The feelings are real. They just haven't been expressed openly. Social media is awash with theories. Every movement is analyzed. Every word scrutinized. Even the slightest smile can become the subject of lengthy discussions. Interestingly, neither Zhang Linghe nor Tian Xiwei has ever directly confirmed or denied it. They remain professional, focused on their work. And perhaps that's precisely the allure. This uncertainty keeps everyone guessing, searching for clues that may never truly be there. Because sometimes, what makes a story so captivating isn't the answer. It's the mystery. Are they simply two talented actors who managed to create a perfect illusion? Or are they two hearts slowly discovering something more than just their roles? Ultimately, only they know the truth. But one thing is for sure. Whatever happened behind the scenes, what they displayed in front of the camera has succeeded in making millions believe that their love feels real. Broken heart. But if we dig deeper, there's one thing that's increasingly hard to ignore: the consistency of their emotions in every scene. Usually, strong chemistry only appears in certain moments. But in this case, almost every interaction between them feels like it carries the same energy, as if it never truly fades. Even in light scenes, there's a closeness that can't be easily faked. The way they listen to each other, rather than simply waiting for their turn to speak, suggests a connection that goes beyond just reading a script. It's a small detail that often goes unnoticed, but it's incredibly honest. Some of the production crew even dropped subtle hints in their interviews, mentioning that the atmosphere on set felt different when Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei were in the same frame. Not in a dramatic sense, but rather a rare sense of comfort. This has led many to wonder, could these feelings have developed subconsciously? Because sometimes, when two people spend a lot of time together, the line between role and reality can start to blur. There were also moments where Zhang Linghe appeared slightly nervous in certain scenes, something rare for an actor of his caliber. And interestingly, this happened while directly facing Tian Xiwei. For some fans, this wasn't just a coincidence. Meanwhile, Tian Xiwei was seen smiling several times outside of the scene, even after the cameras stopped rolling. Smiles that were no longer part of the character, but rather a reflection of something more personal. This phenomenon reminds us that not everything in the entertainment world can be completely controlled. Some emotions emerge naturally, without a script, without direction, without planning. And those are often the ones that feel most real. But on the other hand, we can't forget that these are professional actors. They know how to build connections, how to create illusions that can touch the hearts of the audience. And perhaps that's what we're really seeing. So now the question comes back to us as viewers. Are we witnessing a love story slowly growing behind the scenes? Or is it just a perfect performance that is too beautiful to be considered mere acting? And the longer we observe, the more we sense layers of emotion that can't be fully explained by acting alone. There's a warmth that emerges spontaneously, something that can't usually be conjured up, even with years of practice. Some fans have even begun comparing their interactions to other drama couples. The result? Many feel that Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei's relationship has a soul, something that's alive and evolving, not just a show. Interestingly, in some behind-the-scenes clips, we see them often laughing before a scene begins, then slowly getting into character without losing that connection. This transition feels so smooth, as if there's no clear line between them as actors and the characters they're portraying. There's one small moment that went viral, when Zhang Linghe reflexively helps Tian Xiwei without the main camera noticing. It wasn't part of the scene, nor was it something staged for the public. But that's precisely where the honesty shines through. It's things like this that make it increasingly difficult for fans to remain neutral. As more and more small pieces of evidence emerge, the curiosity grows. Is this just a recurring coincidence, or is there something slowly developing? On the other hand, public pressure is also starting to be felt. When two people are repeatedly paired together, expectations are formed. And these expectations can be a double-edged sword. They can bring them closer, but they can also push them apart. Perhaps they choose to maintain boundaries. Not everything needs to be shared publicly. Not every feeling needs to be explained. In a world full of scrutiny, maintaining privacy can be a form of protection. But precisely because there are no definitive answers, this story becomes even more vivid. Every look, every gesture, every small moment feels like an incomplete puzzle piece. And perhaps that's what keeps everyone coming back to watch, observe, and feel. Because beneath all this, there's one undeniable truth. Whether it's real or not, what they've created together has succeeded in making us believe in something rare, a connection that feels so genuine, it's hard to distinguish from reality. And in the end, perhaps we don't really need a definitive answer. Because it's precisely in that ambiguity that the emotions we feel as viewers become even stronger. We're left to guess, feel, and interpret for ourselves what really happened between them. Everyone sees it differently. Some believe it's simply a dedication to acting, while others believe it's impossible for any of this to happen without genuine feelings. These two perspectives continue to coexist, never truly meeting. What makes it all the more fascinating is that Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei maintain consistent professionalism. They don't feed on speculation, nor do they try to extinguish it. They let things unfold, as if trusting that time will tell. And perhaps behind all this, there's a simple lesson we can all learn, that sometimes the best connections don't need to be explained or announced. They simply feel them, are present enough, and real enough for those experiencing them. So was this just acting or something more? To this day, we may not know. But one thing is for sure. Whatever the truth, this story has managed to leave a mark on the hearts of many, and perhaps that is more than enough.